Well, it's Darcy's Corner. It's 24th of January, 2022. Still in Alberta. Still having a pandemic. My dog just woke up from a nap and may or may not jump up my lap. He's thinking about it. Anyway, I only mention that because, yeah, I'm 80% certain in a second he's going to come over here and want some attention. I'm going through the ups and downs of euphoria and dysphoria. And it's interesting that I now have like names to call these things, because in the past I would just say I was moody, and I wouldn't know what was wrong, and I wouldn't understand why I didn't feel right, or why some things would make me feel absolutely giddy. Um, Sometimes I look in the mirror and I see her, I see Darcy, I see me. I mean, I look at these ridge lines in my cheeks there, and those kind of weren't there before, and they're starting to puff out a little bit. You can still see the 5 o'clock shadow though. I know the voice is still not great, but I think I've changed it over time, but it's really hard to tell for sure from my perspective. You know, it feels like this is moving at the rate of a glacier, so very, very slowly. And it's important to keep things in perspective. There's a reason I've cut certain people out of my life. I've had former friends who were very good friends of mine, and the last time I spoke with them, they deliberately used my dead name, they deliberately used the wrong pronouns, and they made a point of saying the only reason we're having this conversation is so they could use the wrong name and wrong pronouns. They were church members. They still are church members. But not everybody is that way. Like a couple weeks ago, I was invited over with my spouse to a church member's home, and if you've been watching my channel for a while, and if you haven't, that's okay. I have a pet turtle, and he's very active, and he likes to cuddle with me and climb me, and he's very people friendly. And they wanted us to bring him over so he could play with their children. So we did. We brought him over, and he played with their children. And the mom made a very important distinction or point to say that she used my right pronouns, and she used them to her children and made sure that her children were using my correct pronouns. And I felt very comfortable and welcome in that home. Now you can look at all the safeguards that were in place. Like her children were teenagers, some of them, and my spouse, who currently is a woman, was there. There's all sorts of weird rules for the LDS people as to what gender can be in what room alone with another adult of the opposite sex. So you could argue that maybe she really wasn't comfortable with my pronouns or whatever, because maybe if my spouse hadn't been there, I might not have been invited. I don't know. But you have to meet people where they're at too. And I was just grateful, and I am grateful for the members of my branch. I work in town here. The way that the LDS Church works, that you're always part of a community. And I work at the local grocery store, and I frequently see other members come in, and they acknowledge me, and they're happy to see me. And most of them use the correct pronouns. Most of them use the correct name when they talk to me. And that's very good for my well-being, for my psyche, that they do that. When it comes to euphoria and dysphoria, it only takes one bad day. And that bad day can happen anytime. It only takes one bad moment. That bad moment can happen anytime. I was looking at some old pictures. I was looking at Facebook in particular posts, "This is where you were last year" type of things. And I was comparing my picture today of myself to the picture of me a year ago today on Facebook. And then I went through the archive of my photos on Facebook to find some that were just before I transitioned. And I was trying so hard not to be transgender, and I was trying so hard to follow the rules of the church. That was a big reason why I went and got married in the temple. I thought, if I can be temple worthy, if I can be good enough in God's eyes, He'll take this burden from me. And I have to tell you, it doesn't work that way. Now, I am good enough in God's eyes. And I believe, very much so today, that the Lord has helped me through this burden. I think that the Lord wanted me to go through this burden 12 years ago, and I ran away from it. I think that I wish that I could have told somebody when I was 10 instead of hiding my gay, which is what I thought I was doing. At 10, I thought I was hiding my gay. Now, I didn't have the language for it. Also, it was the 90s, and the language to explain this phenomenon wasn't very good at that time. Today, we know I know it's much more complex than just, am I gay or not? Which is another interesting question, but not for this video. Like, as little as a week ago, my spouse was helping me to prepare for laser treatment, and that meant that my back needed to be shaved before the laser could zap it. Obviously, I can't do that myself. And the place where I went, the lady is very, very good. She says, well, you just bring in your electric razor next time and I'll do it and it'll be fine. And she wants to do that so she can monitor the progress of the laser treatment on my back. So I'll do that, but as my spouse is helping me deal with my back situation, she's saying things to me like, why are you doing this? Life would be so much easier if you stopped doing this. Why don't you just quit and go back? Now, my spouse loves me, and my spouse intervened on my behalf so that I didn't become really sad like 4 or 5 weeks ago and end my life, because I was really thinking about doing that, because I was just so sad. And she prevented me from doing that. But then she does something stupid like this, and it's like, you're playing with fire when you do that to trans people. when I look at my progress and how frustrated I am with how slow it's going, and parts of it are going wonderfully, by the way, and many people are very supportive, but it only takes one moment of me deciding this is never going to work, I can never be myself, and I don't want to spend any more of my life as the man that I was. I mean, not a single day more do I want to spend being that man. And he was a good man. I liked him. I still like who he was. But I will not spend one more day of my life as him. That's important. I can't have a conversation with my mother ever again, probably for the rest of my life, because she will say things like that to me. And then she will blame me for not taking personal responsibility, from when I was 10 to tell my homophobic mother that I was gay. Because she doesn't remember the conversation of her telling me very specifically, very directly, that gay was wrong, gay was bad. I was never to use that word ever again because it was swearing. But I could refer to the kid down the street who she hated as gay. That's a very specific conversation we had that she's forgotten all about, therefore I made it up. Those types of gaslighting situations will push me to suicide if I allow them to overtake my brain. I can't move out of here. I can't afford the rent on my own, so I'm stuck living with my spouse, who I actually do love, by the way. I don't wish her any harm. But if I could leave tomorrow, I'd be gone. Money is keeping me here. And the hope that I will become me and be seen by the world is keeping me here alive. Those are the things keeping me here. So don't mess with a trans person's dysphoria. Don't tell them how much their life would be easier if they just tried harder. I'm 42 years old. I've been trying since I was 10. I think I know a hell of a lot more about trying to be somebody I'm not than you ever will. Unless you've been suppressing who you were for the last 30 years. Anyway, that's Darci's Corner. Sorry it's a bit of a downer. I hope all of my 23 viewers are doing very well. And if you're family, peace. And if you're not family, but you're the family that I would choose, love you. Darci's Corner, out.